Welcome to the YCHYFUS podcast, where me, Darren Jones, and
me, Clive Davis,
have a look at some Kung Fu films. Now, it's my choice today, this month, and I thought we started off saying we're going to do a double bill, but because we're gluttons for punishment, yeah?
Yes.
We're going to do a triple bill.
Yes.
With one not that related film.
Right, but I suppose it'll tie us back a little bit to the last episode that we put up, which was our fantastic chat with Toby Russell and Nick as well, Nick Sheehan, about Ninja: The Final Duel.
Yes, and it is lovely going back and seeing Mr. Tai, even though we only just left him. So yes.
Well, there's more. There's a bit more. Actually, I suppose in terms of running time, there's maybe less, but it seems as if his presence looms a bit more large in the film we're going to be discussing this because he's the main villain of the piece, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So the films are Secret Rivals Part 1, Secret Rivals Part 2, and the retitled Secret Rivals Part 3.
Right.
So yes, so these films kind of come at a it's that sort of magic period as you know, as I've been kind of, you know, looking at this and thinking about this for the podcast, really, you know, throughout the podcast, you know, there seems to be this kind of magic period in Kung Fu cinema, Hong Kong, Taiwan Kung Fu cinema, which is kind of 76, 77, where everything just jumps up a gear. You know, as we've spoken about before, we spoke about it in The Hot, the Cool and the Vicious, so we were talking with Toby about it as well.
Yes, and he particularly attributed this to the influence of Jackie Chan.
Yeah. I'm not going to disagree with Toby.
No arguments here either, even though you have expressed in the past you're not exactly the biggest Jackie Chan fan overall. That's not to say that isn't true.
True. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, and my bias against Jackie Chan, and I love Jackie Chan's, well, a lot of Jackie Chan's 70s stuff. You know, but even what Toby attributes to, you know, the film that changed it all, Shaolin Wooden Men, you know, still happen to have Pan Gang on the choreography team.
Right.
Which is where I would come from. But I don't disagree with Toby, because Toby knows everything.
No, exactly. And yes, you'd be foolish to do so. But I suppose maybe a way of looking at it as well is through whatever, maybe just pure gumption on his part, really. I think Jackie Chan was the man who kind of put together all this talent in a way and kind of really pushed it to the fore and made everyone sit up and pay attention, right? Where maybe prior to that people weren't necessarily doing so. Like, for whatever way he did it, somehow the way he packaged it was, you know, finally it was people took notice for the first time since, well, Bruce Lee's passing, I suppose.
Yeah, I think you're right. You're right, and I think that, you know, we can only ever look at these films from an audience perspective anyway.
Right.
And obviously, what changed, you know, the gear that got shifted, you know, in this period, happened on an internal industry level.
Yes.
So, you know, we know what we can see as an audience, you know, which is the only way we can look at things. We don't know how the industry saw Shaolin Wooden Men, and that will have been the fulcrum of change in the industry to step up all the choreography to a more dynamic, you know, to more dynamic visuals that we're seeing here.
And as Toby said, he didn't say it on the show, but in that Nana Land interview, I think he says something along the lines of, you know, I think Robert Tai said something along the lines of, you know, we made these films jam-packed with this amazing action, you know, so that people in the industry could see
Yeah,
how you do it. Like it
yeah,
is
exactly.
almost like a calling card. Like, look at this, and yeah, if you've got the eyes to see it, then people obviously went, "Holy fuck, who are these crazy people, and how did they do that?" You know?
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, so yeah, far be it from me to disagree.
No, no.
But I think, yeah, I mean, I'm always going to think, even probably even if I'm proved wrong, that the that the shift in kung fu choreography in this period originates in Taiwan.
Yeah, plus as well,
yeah,
we have a perverse, perverse insistence on rooting for the underdog.
true. Yeah, yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. So yes, so Secret Rivals, 1976. There's not that many good prints of this out there, is there? Considering the kind of legendary status of the first two films we're looking at, Secret Rivals 1 and 2.
Right.
There's not really been any decent release at all.
No, not that I know of. And like you said, yeah, but just to put this into context, this would have been like when we were talking Hot, Cool and the Vicious, for example. This would have been one of those, the legendary kind of late night kung fu titles, along with things like Mars Villa and stuff like that. Like,
yeah,
people would have said, we would have been clued on to early on. Oh, you've never seen, oh, you've got to see, that it was on that strata, right?
Yeah, it's upper echelons of kind of legendary grindhouse.
Yeah,
kung fu cinema, isn't it?
Yeah.
And yeah, so I mean, I managed back in, I think probably the 90s. I managed to get a couple of these on DVD from Hong Kong, and I couldn't for the life of me remember what sort of quality they were. And yeah, a bit disappointed in putting them on the quality because I managed to watch the subbed version of both films.
Okay, I went for the dubbed ones on YouTube.
Yeah, and and the subbed one was not widescreen. It's kind of a not it was cropped. It wasn't very good. Subtitles were hard to read.
Right.
But still, it's still a nice experience to watch it. But I did, funny enough, the same company put out a proper widescreen, Secret Rivals 2. So I did manage to watch that widescreen subbed.
Right.
But the quality, the print quality was awful. There was lines down it, faded, all sorts. But anyway, that's by the by. But
yeah, unfortunately, we're probably going to be dealing with that a lot. There's not much you can do about it, really, is there?
No. I just thought I'd mention it. But yeah, I think watching, and this is one of the films that would really benefit from watching it in widescreen.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I think a lot of, I suppose we've got kind of used to it, watching a lot of crap pan and scan VHS. But now we're automatically wowed when we see something in the correct aspect ratio. But yeah, that is how it's meant to be. Not two noses talking to each other.
No, exactly. Yeah. But anyway, so Secret Rivals, 1976. Cast and crew.
Shot in Korea.
Yeah, which is unusual, and you can tell actually because those locations are great, don't they? All those temples, all those palaces. Yeah, great, and it does have that sort of slightly different flavour as well, doesn't it? It just has that kind of, the landscape is so different that it does kind of add a bit of spice to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, we should also say that it's not only shot in Korea, it is actually set in Korea as well, right? So our two leads are supposed to be, travelers from China.
Yeah.
In Korea.
Yeah. And of course, amongst the other cast, it does have one of our favourite Koreans in there, Mr. Elton Chong.
Yes, as the Black Fox.
Yes.
Yes.
Good old Elton.
It's always a
There it
pleasure
is.
to see him.
Oh,
It's
it
actually
is.
it's good to see him in a film that is a shit. Actually,
It is, yeah.
yeah. Even
Yeah.
though I feel as if I went back and watched some of those Elton John films, I might have a more appreciative eye for them now. Maybe, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
I
Well,
do
it's
remember
on the
when
list, isn't it?
Elton John being the, oh, stay away from that, and
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah,
don't.
we need to get back to that.
Yeah, we probably
Get
should
back to old
program a Elton John double.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, why not? Yeah. Or we could even do a series, couldn't we? You know, Heroes of IFD, Heroes of Filmark.
Yeah, oh, I'm up for that. I'm probably more
Yeah.
up for that than you are.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can stomach it. But yeah, anyway, so Secret Rivals. How do you say his name? NG or Ng?
CN, I would say.
Yeah, NCN is how I've been saying it. But apparently he's called NG. People
No,
call him NG. I don't know if it's a nickname or.
I'm guessing
Yeah,
that must be a nick.
no, that's not how it's pronounced, obviously. But I think
Yeah,
he has a nickname of NG.
All right, I was going to say. All right.
Yeah.
Yes,
but it's Ng.
yeah.
Or Ng.
So director producer, and of course this is from his seasonal films, right?
Yes.
Who would
And that's all. And isn't it the treat when you see the seasonal logo just before a film?
Yes, it is.
And that's more so than a lot. I would say, yeah, the only other one of the same period.
I wonder if you're going to say the same thing I'm thinking. Go on.
I was going to say, what's Joseph Poe's company called? I want to say Hung Hua, but I think I'm wrong.
I can't remember. What I was thinking of, I don't know why, because I don't know if I've ever gone back and done the quality test as to if each of the releases is actually good. But for some reason, I always perk up in my chair if I see Gold Dig.
Oh yeah. I think that might just be nostalgia, that one.
Potentially, but I was still Gold Dig.
Yeah. No, but yeah, whenever you see seasonal films, there's always it is for me generally a seal of quality.
Yeah, well, I was wondering this actually because I didn't have time to go back before we did this, but I was thinking maybe maybe I should trawl the seasonal catalogue, and also more. I was thinking as well, is there a whole bunch of NG films that I haven't seen maybe as well? But yes, it seems to me, going by memory or anecdotal evidence, it does seem to be a bit of a seal of quality as seasonal.
Yeah. You always get it. Sometimes you don't know. Sometimes you whack a film on and you don't know who the production company was.
Right.
And there it is. Oh, seasonal.
Yeah.
I'm in for a treat. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, so NCN director producer. Our old mate Tommy Lee is back as choreographer.
Yeah.
Along with Chern Quen, who I wasn't very familiar with.
Yeah, they're both in it as well. And interestingly, I think the same year as this, sorry, not Tommy Lee, Richard Chung, the other guy, also choreographed a film called Tiger of Northland.
Yes, I made a note of that. Yeah, and I didn't even know about that film.
Well, I've not seen it, but I'll talk with you about this later, Darren. But I was thinking we might do a double bill of this with another, some more choreographed film. I was thinking might make a nice, neat double bill.
Yeah. Or actually, it might make a nice double bill with something like The Traitorous.
Yeah.
Same period.
Yeah.
Because I don't know why I keep. This is again a conversation for later on, but yeah, I keep something in the ether is drawing me to Polly Shanquan at the moment.
All right.
And she's in Traitorous, which is probably why I mentioned it. So there's another little tag, little pin for us to put in.
Yeah, well, we could save the Traitorous for a Polly Shanquan double bill, couldn't we?
Well, yes, but the thing is that's going to be a tough decider. That is Polly Shanquan double bill.
Well, we might have to go for a double bill.
Well, I have no problem with this.
No.
Excellent. Yes, but anyway. Anyway, so they're the choreographers. And yeah, this is uh Northern Leg versus Southern Fist versus Silver Fox. This is the original, isn't it?
Yes, yes. And in fact, the original, if you look at the original title as well, I don't know how you pronounce it, Nang Kwambei Tui, but to read, because the Chinese characters would be the same in Japan as well. It is, literally South Fist, North Kick.
Yeah.
That is the title.
Yeah.
You know where they get their secret rivals from?
No.
In fact, it's a fairly nonsensical English title. Who would the rival be? And it's not much of a secret.
No. Well, I suppose that. Well, yeah, Zhong and Wang Tao are rivals in this film. They're rivals for the girl, for a start.
But are they secret?
They're not really very secret, are they?
No. You could have called it
No, they are secret. No, hang on, they are secret. They're both secret.
Are you defending this title now?
Yes. They're both secret because Wang Tao is a government agent and he keeps that secret. And John Liu is after revenge that he also keeps secret.
But see, if I hear secret rivals put together, it makes me think that two people who are not aware that they're rivals are, but actually they're secret compatriots, really.
Well, yes. No, you're right. That would be more accurate. But secret compatriots hasn't got much of a ring to it, does it? No,
neither does. You could call it, Jolly Mechanics, if you wanted to. It makes much sense. Actually, that's not a bad title, but it doesn't sound like a kung fu film.
No.
There we go. We got a title for our kung fu film if we ever make it. Jolly Mechanics.
Jolly Mechanics. Yes. Sounds more like a children's kung fu film. like a Bob the Builder or Fireman Sam.
Jolly Mechanics. Kung fu. Yeah. It's writing itself, doesn't it?
Oh yeah. You killed my master. Anyway. Yeah, so who else have we got in this then? So we've got Northern Leg, John Liu.
John Liu doing his Jughead John Liu, as I like to refer to him.
Yeah. He's got a very small head, doesn't he?
Yeah, I used to work with someone who looked just like John Liu, and he always reminds me of it.
Yeah. But yeah, John Liu does seem to have a disproportionately small head for his body.
Yeah, there's something not quite right about him, isn't there?
Yeah.
I would say.
I love John Liu.
Yeah, but he's a bit, I don't know, he's a bit, in the same way as there was that weird period of time where someone who looked like Nicolas Cage could be an action star. It's a bit like that, I always think.
Yeah.
And then, Dong Wang Tao, who's, fits the mold of a hero a little bit more. I can see why Yasujin, the Korean love interest in this, I can see why she goes a bit more for Don than John. Yeah. No disrespect to Jughead John, but...
No. But, so Southern Fist, Northern Leg, and then we've got the Silver Fox himself, Mr. Wang Zhangli.
Now
you're talking.
The reason to watch this film, really, because he's a force of nature, isn't he?
Yeah, there's no one, right? There's we spoke before, didn't we, about Lung Fei. Lung Fei look mean.
Yeah.
And you would never want to get in an argument with Lung Fei in a bar, right? Because he looks like he'd just do you in.
Yeah.
But I'm not scared of Lung Fei. I'm just cautious of Lung Fei.
Right.
I am fucking terrified of Wang Zhangli.
Yes, if Wang Zhangli was talking in a cinema and you turned down and went, oh shit, you.
Yeah.
Although I don't think Wang Zhangli wouldn't talk in a cinema. That's the thing.
No, and Wang Zhangli, from what I've gathered, simply from his Taekwondo school's Facebook profile, seems like a lovely man.
Yes, but I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I might be remembering this wrong, but wasn't he notorious for wasn't he he was the guy who would not pull his punches or his kicks? Like, if you were fighting Wang Zhangli on screen, you better have your shit together. Is that am I remembering that?
Yeah, I've heard. Yeah, I think I've heard the same. But then you've got that famous sort of accident with Jackie Chan where Jackie Chan got his tooth knocked out on, I think it was Snake and Eagle Shadow, possibly Drunken Master.
Right.
Wang Zhongli kicked one of his teeth out.
Right.
But the only reason for that was Jackie had his head in the wrong position.
Right, but what I mean, but it's still testament that he's not necessarily pulling his punches, right? Like,
yeah. But
I mean, even someone untrained as myself, I might not be able to articulate it in a way with a trained eye, but when you're watching Wang Zhangli on screen, there's something different, isn't there? There's
there's a power there, isn't there?
Yeah,
there's some,
undoubtedly.
Yeah, and it's I don't know, and he is a proper martial artist. He's not, he's not, unlike a lot of the other performers that we look at, he doesn't come from, any sort of opera school. He comes from Taekwondo.
Yeah, didn't he teach the Korean army Taekwondo or something like that at some point in his career?
Yeah, so there's that. Yeah, so he was an army instructor for the Korean army. And then there's that story, isn't there, where he, some knife fighter comes and challenges him because he's found out that Wang Zhangli is hard, and then Wang Zhangli manages to kill him in a duel, which is, which seems to be true. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if. I'm sure I've seen an interview where it's referenced with him,
right?
Or possibly read it somewhere. But yeah, that seems to be, Wang Zhangli is a proper hard nut.
Well, with the English title of one of his films, Hard Bastard, right?
Hard Bastard, yes.
And even seemingly throw it in the end, towards the end, not even the end fight, but there's a scene where he's in front of some temple, on some temple steps with stone balcony, and he just leaps.
Oh, I've noticed that.
Just, fucking hell! It's a small thing, but it's just just on. There's no trampoline and he's just just leaps and lands on hard stone and takes it in his stride and just
he's ready to go. Yeah, that's and there's not it doesn't look like. Well, there are a few bits where there are obvious doubles. Mainly with the flips,
right?
Wang Zhangli, but he's not. It's him doing the business in the fights, isn't it?
Yeah,
and that's what he's famous for.
Yes.
But there's when he's got his game face on, when Wang Zhangli has got his game face on, that's just fucking terrifying.
Yeah, he's definitely top 5 kung fu villains, isn't he?
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's interesting as well. Watching it this time, what struck me as well was this film, testament to how awesome he is on screen, is the fact that this film wrong-foots you a little bit, because it starts. So there's this kind of, we can do the throwaway plot, is basically there's some corrupt villains, and they've robbed something or other. I can't remember. I'm not sure if they even specify what they've ripped off, but they're in league with Wang Zhangli's Silver Fox, and they want to get rid of Silver Fox. So they decide to mount a tournament, which is supposedly to find the king's bodyguard. And what I quite like is the prizes are some gold, 100 servants, and then they run out of steam a bit. They say, and some clothes.
Yeah.
At least in the English term, which I thought was quite funny.
As a Marks and Spencer voucher.
£10. And so basically they're looking for someone hard, so then they can turn them on and get rid of Silver Fox from them, right? So and then it doesn't turn out that way, and don't turn out to be some kind of government. It doesn't really matter. But my point is that it sets you up as it's going to be a tournament film, which for you, I know, Darren, and myself as well, is pure catnip, right? A tournament film. You love a tournament. And there's there's an evil Russian fighter giving and all that.
Yeah.
So you're set up for a tournament film, but it's not there's hardly any tournament stuff in it.
No.
Which should be a crushing disappointment.
Yeah.
But the fact that you've got Hwang Jang-Lee as your villain saves the film. You don't care that it's not a tournament film anymore.
No. And it's just any time he's on screen in this film and the second film is just you're just riveted to the screen. You know, it doesn't matter what he's doing. You know, he just carries this air of threat with him.
He does.
Wherever he is. You know, and silly wigs and silly eyebrows notwithstanding, you know, he's a proper menace.
Yeah, you're not going to make fun of his wig and eyebrows, are you?
No. Not even. There's one, isn't there? What's the film? It's a Joseph Quo film with the silliest wigs ever. And Bollo's got a really stupid wig in it. I can't remember what it's called.
I don't know. And you do have to go some way to make Bolo look more stupid.
Yeah, it's when I'll look it up on the sly when when we hit the quiet patch, but anyway, but yeah, no, so yeah, and that's the reason to watch this film. I mean, and you know, John Liu and Wang Tao, you know, they put themselves very well. In fact, I think I'm not sure. Apologies, I usually do a bit more research than this before a podcast, but unfortunately I came down with the coronavirus this week, so I did not manage to do all my research. But I think this is, if not the first, it's one of John Liu's first films, isn't it?
It's pretty early on,
yeah. And youthful, and you know, he seems very baby faced in it as well, doesn't he? But he equips himself really well.
Yeah.
You know, he's great in it.
He's I would say a notch above in terms of charisma. Then he's not fully the most charismatic lead in the world, but he's a notch above Dorian Tantiao-Liang, right?
Well, yeah, the mannequins that he kicks the heads off have got more charisma than Tantiao-Liang, to be fair.
Right. But you know what I mean? He's not like I would like his skills are obviously what you go and see him for more than anything else, right? Like yeah, and you know he's going to do that thing where he puts his leg up 90 degrees in every single film he's in. But fair play,
the money shot.
He can do that. I can't do that. So if I could do that, I'd probably do it in every film I was in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
As an extra, why is he putting his leg up in the air?
Yeah, but you'd either have no trousers on or you'd have shorts on and purposefully pop a bollock out.
I would
just for the frisson, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'm all about the frisson.
Yes. Anyway, John Liu, I think is excellent in this. Wang Tao's doing pretty good as well. To be fair.
Yeah.
Because there's some nunchucks in this.
Yes.
And that's a nice little moment.
I can't remember. I'm assuming they would have been cut out of the UK release back in the day. I can't remember.
I don't even know it was released in the UK.
All right. There must have been. It must have been one of the Made in Hong Kong or Eastern Heroes.
No.
Was it not?
No.
All right.
If there could be VHSs out there, I'm sure there are.
So did we see this from the get-go all the way bootleg then?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
I honestly don't. I don't recall. My VHS collection is there. I could have dug through it, but I don't ever remember seeing a UK release. There may have been VHSs kicking about. I don't know.
No, you might. I'm not very good with that. It all kind of tends to blend it. Like I can somehow cobble together in my brain like a my own composite VHS release with late night fiction on the top, but I'm probably thinking of Snake Deadly Act or Mars Villa, or
Yeah. But to my knowledge, it never came out on Eastern Heroes or Hong Kong Legends, anything like that. Which is a shame, which is a tragedy, and it does. They are ripe for a release if someone can find a decent version to put out.
The other component of this film as well, is, I think, one of the reasons it stood out and became this kind of iconic film as well is the Hang Dang Li, and you got John Liu and Dong Tao doing their stuff, but also I think the appropriation of the Ennio Morricone theme, the big gun down. That's another really important part of it, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
And and I love that. I love that theme. I love it in the big gun down, but I in a way I love it almost more here because
I love it more in because it makes things dynamic, or it gives things more weight when they're on the screen, and it's just, I know it's just another kind of violence, but the Western score on top of good kung fu action is a thing of beauty, and it's perfected here, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
for sure.
So I think that's another thing to bear in mind. I think why it would have stood out, because I'll jump ahead just a little bit then, just because my kind of conclusion on this one, watching it this time, was it's a solid kung fu film, above average, but it's not a classic in the way that something like Legendary Weapons of China, for example. It's a very different film, but it's not top tier must see kung fu film or a converting experience, I don't think.
No, I agree with you.
It's a solid kung fu film.
It's a great film. The choreography is great.
Yeah.
For the period, I would say.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty good. It holds up. I mean, it's
no, it is. No. It's not. It's not a basher. It's not a punch and block.
No.
The choreography is tight. It's good. I think it's pretty well directed as well. Actually, I think our NG is doing a good job of pacing. The script's quite nice. I quite like I can you get behind everyone's motivations. I even like the kind of love triangle thing going on,
right?
Which is usually pretty tedious in a film like this.
Yeah,
to be honest.
We should mention as well that Yo Soo-jin or Kim Chun-mo, I think the real name is. It was also in the Hot to Cool divisions.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
I didn't until I looked it up.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, no, you're quite right. It's a very, again, Ng Se-yeon is not necessarily an inspired director, but he's a good, again, it's like, there's no, even though sometimes I like that stuff because it's fun to talk about and gives you weird whiplash and stuff, but this is not a kung fu film with goofy comedy and, little side tracks like that. It's pretty much...
No, it's straight down the line, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is on the motorway, on the freeway to kung fu action, isn't it? As opposed to a country lane where there's little stop-offs,
right,
and pubs to go to.
Yeah, this is something you could show to someone who doesn't suffer fools gladly.
Yeah.
Who just?
Oh yeah. And I like the stuff with the kid as well. The kid. With John Liu training the kid and on the kid.
I should mention as well about the kid, because it's something I found out, which so the little kid played by John Ho Jin, I think in Korea ended up becoming relatively famous when he was older, when he became a grown man. But also the year after this, he starred in a fantasy film called Third Son of Dragon King, a Korean fantasy film, which you can find on YouTube. If you go to the Korean movie database and search for not Third Son of Dragon King, that's what is listed on the Hong Kong movie database. It's called something like what is it called? Prince of Dragon King or Power of Dragon King. If you go over to Korean Movie Database and search for that in English, and then search for the Korean title in YouTube. Actually, it might be. Actually, it's Chinese characters, so it should be the same title that it is on the Hong Kong Movie Database. If you bung that into YouTube, you'll find it, but without subtitles.
Did you have a look at it?
I didn't. I didn't have time, but
No.
I saved it from. I saved it from YouTube. I downloaded it, so I will take a look at it. So it looks kind of interesting. It's the Dragon King story is it's based on something. I looked it up. It is based on some famous slice of mythology.
Okay.
So there's probably like 20 films that tell the same story or something. You know.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. But yeah. So yeah, I think it's all very successful. Secret Rivals. But yeah, as you say, it's, you know, aside from the very good performances, very good leads, solid direction, there's nothing really that puts it above anything else in particular, really. Wang Jiangli's performance, but then Wang Jiangli's performance is consistent throughout, isn't it? You know,
right.
throughout his career.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's thoroughly enjoyable show, isn't it? You know.
Yeah. And like you said as well, because we don't have a crystal clear HD, you might have a little bit of trouble spotting Yun Bio.
Yeah, I managed to spot Yun Biao.
Just about, yeah.
Just, yeah. Yun Hua, I couldn't see anywhere.
No, me neither.
No. Who else was it? Right. So I missed this, right? So apparently Lee Min is in this. According to HKMDB, Lee Min plays the prince.
Hang on, isn't that someone? Is that not the Lee Min? Isn't it Lee Ye Min? Isn't it someone else?
Oh, yeah, that might be where I'm getting confused.
We'll get to a little bit of Lee Min related trivia in part 3, actually. But no, I don't think Lee Min is in this. But
no, I didn't think he was.
Also in it, and the assistant director was James Nam. Nam Ki Nam, who's again one of those names that I've become more familiar with once you get clued into all the Korean connections in these films. Then you start looking like people. They won't have that many credits on the Hong Kong Movie Database, but then if you go and search for them over at the Korean Movie Database, they have these much longer filmographies.
Yeah,
and
he's a good ruffian, is James Nam, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, I like James Nam.
Right, yeah. So that's me. One thing was, I wonder who the guy playing the Russian was. Don't know.
Yeah, he's not in the cast.
No.
I couldn't get his name.
It's always fun to identify another Guaylo from these.
Yeah.
From these days, but don't know who this fella is.
Yeah, he's all right.
He does.
I didn't. He's
Russian lecture well enough.
Yeah. He didn't have. You know, he didn't have many shapes. To be fair, you know, he wasn't pulling all the shapes. But yeah, it's fun to watch a Guaylo, and fun to watch a Guaylo get his ass kicked.
He's just there to be evil and foreign.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and yeah, and talking of shapes, actually, this is very much a kind of a shapes film, isn't it? You know, because you've got these kind of preludes to the fight where they're going through their styles and their shapes, and there's lots of kind of kung fu routine and less so training scenes, but there's lots of going through technique in practice sessions.
Yeah, no, I suppose, I hadn't thought of that. That is one thing it's missing. In order for a kung fu film, a vintage kung fu film to achieve greatness, you do need some training scenes, I think.
Well, it has got training scenes. John Liu does kick some jars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but it's, 5 minutes does not the training scene make.
Yeah, not really. And they don't really do much of a job connecting it to the, you have that brief shot of a jug being smashed and while they kick Wang Jiangli in the head.
Yeah.
And and then it's done and dusted, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But good enough, serviceable.
Yeah. And come on. There's an immense sense of satisfaction when, and this isn't a very good example of it, but seeing someone get kicked in the head and then seeing footage of a jar being smashed.
Yeah.
It's always good. It always gives you a little buzz.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. That means his skull is being smashed.
Is that what it means?
It is, yeah, because the jar
went over my head.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, very good nunchuck fight as well.
Yes.
That is written in big capitals there.
Yeah. So if there was a UK VHS release and that's the only one you saw, then you haven't seen it probably. So watch it again. Yeah.
Get on that. Yeah. So yeah, I've got nothing more to say on it really, other than good solid bit of cinema.
Good solid film. Glad to go back and watch it again. I can see when you combine it with the stolen theme tune from the Big Gun Down, you can kind of see why this stuck in people's head, and a good time was had by all in a grindhouse while everyone was hooting and hollering at the screen.
Yeah.
Very understandable and still good fun.
Yeah. Next one.
Yes, Secret Rivals 2.
Yes.
1977. Again, a Hong Kong production, this time shot in Taiwan. And I'm probably overthinking this, but this is a direct sequel, right? It ends with the footage of the end fight from the first film in that temple with those stone animal
lions.
Statues out front.
Yeah.
And so and there's a few other bits and pieces that kind of link them, even though they're not really linked. But so is this still supposed to be Korea? Because I get the feeling it's all supposed to take place in an adjacent. It's not like they've traveled across the sea or something, or
no.
So are they
I guess so.
In Korea, or they don't really give a shit, which I suspect the latter is.
Well, yeah, it's definitely the latter. But they do mention a place, don't they? Because that's the explanation for where Wong Tao is.
Wong Tao's gone abroad, apparently, isn't he?
Well, is it abroad though? Because in the subtitles there was actually a region, like a place mentioned, which I didn't write down.
But they're still where they're supposed to have. So John Liu's still there, and his brother, as played by Tino Wong, he's the northern, he's the
southern fist. Yeah.
In place of his brother, but they mix up their brothers. But I think because they are brother, but it's brother in arms, brother. But I think Don Wong Tao is supposed to be his brother, right?
Yes, and his blood brother.
Liu is his brother in arms. Yes. So, and also there's all this talk as well of there's a contest going on, isn't there? Apparently.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, is this the same tournament going on that was going on in the first film?
Well, the prize is the same, isn't it? Because you get to be captain of the guard.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
The Master Census voucher.
Yeah, but you get and it's quite a weird kind of framing device for the film. Actually, it starts off a bit weird, this one, because you start off with Gold Fox, Wang Zhangli's character, who is the brother of Silver Fox,
right?
And it's him and his gang basically discussing their plan, their criminal enterprise, for quite a long time.
Yes. And Shusha turns up.
Yes.
With his metal hand.
You mean Hasu Hasia.
Sorry, my pronunciation was way off there. Yes.
Hasu Hasia. Yeah.
With his metal hand, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And also sent me back to that, because when he turns up, he's like, everyone's talking, Tang Kang is it, Tang Kang, and he's talking about how he lost his hand. And I was like, oh, was he a character in the first film? And then I went, but no one lost their hand in the first film. And there's no one called Tang Kang, and Hususia isn't in it. So this is just something else. This is just
he's just else. Yeah. And there are these, and they're all distinct characters, to be fair.
Yeah.
And there's this variety of characters around, and they're all kind of talking about their plan for the next phase of their criminal enterprise, and it's pretty much, we're going to enter this tournament, and then I'm going to command 80,000 troops, and that'll be good for all of us. But if we all go, if we all compete in the tournament, then most of us are going to die, because only one of them can win. But they all do compete in the tournament anyway, for no good reason.
Yeah, not that you see, again, this is...
That you don't see.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't think any of them make it to the tournament, do they?
No.
Weird
how they've avoided the tournament in both of these films.
Yeah, these two films are tournament teasers.
They are.
They are.
They really are.
And they're asking for it.
They are asking for it. Yes. Talking about tournaments and wearing them short skirts.
Yeah, they're not wearing them nice wigs.
Yeah.
Wearing those metal hands.
And then it changes again, and the plot ends up being a search for silver, or a search for a map for the 8th diagram map. And the 8th diagram is missing. And silver, because Charlie Chan turns up, not that Charlie Chan, obviously that would be very strange if the Honolulu detective suddenly turned up in the middle of this. But Charlie Chan turns up and to fight for Huang Zhangli against John Liu and Tino Wong. until he finds out that Hwang Jung-lee's secretly after the silver. So so the plot goes off in that direction then.
Yeah.
Again, doesn't really matter because once again you've got Hwang Jung-lee.
Yeah.
And this time you've got choreography from Yu Ping.
Yes.
Who would, of course, the following year go on to make his directorial debut with Snake and Eagle's Shadow for Ng Si-yun's seasonal films.
Yeah, and this film is, more than anything, is really, I think, is seen as Yu Ping's springboard.
Yes, absolutely.
This is his audition for Snake and Eagle's Shadow, really, isn't it?
Right. We should mention that this is again helmed by Ng Si-yun.
Yes. Yes.
So at the same time, accredited as his assistants are both Ko Ryen-kwai.
Yeah.
And Yun Pyo.
Yeah.
Again, Yun Pyo.
He's fucking invisible.
Yes, invisible. Ko Ryen-kwai has a more substantial role.
Yeah.
In this, he does actually have quite a bit of screen time. And then again, looking into what they were doing around the same time. So Ko Ryen-kwai later went on, of course, famously made No Retreat, No Surrender for CN.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting credit. But the same time as this, he helped to choreograph Seven Grandmasters for Just Before. And
is in that as well.
Yes, and both he and Yun Pyo, the same year as this, directed something which I've not seen called Hero of the Wild. Are you familiar with that one?
No, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that at all.
But just the fact that they're both involved, it immediately goes on the list, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, totally, yeah. Although, I'm jumping ahead here.
Yeah.
I think Yuen Woo-ping is doing a top job of making sure all the punches and kicks connect and look real.
Yeah.
But I got to say, I'm underwhelmed with what he's doing in this film.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Maybe we can get to that.
Well, I mean, just to match you, just to jump ahead a little bit as well, my big takeaway from this was just in terms of sheer enjoyment, this was on a par with the original. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed it all the way through, just as much, I think.
Yeah, I didn't have the same experience, and which is weird because that was my experience. In fact, I preferred Secret Rivals 2.
Some people do. Some people do.
When I first saw it, 20-something years ago, that was it. Secret Rivals 2, much better, more action, much more action-packed. But quite honestly, I think it suffers from pretty poor pacing. And I'm prepared to admit that, maybe I came into watching Secret Rivals 2, which I only watched the day after the first one,
right?
In a different mood. So maybe my mood watching the film affected me.
Well, you did have coronavirus as well.
Well, I was better then. I was better.
Okay, right.
To be honest with you, I find, given all the elements, right? You've got Hwang Jung-lee, you've got John Liu, Tino Wong.
Not a fan?
Well, he's all right. He's okay. He's serviceable.
It's true. He is fine in this, but it's not one of those names that jumps out at you. Oh, a Tino Wong film. It's not. Yeah.
No.
Also, don't forget, Darren, the big Gundam theme again also helps. Yeah.
But yeah, I think given all the elements, particularly, like Hasu Hasia's fucking metal hand.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Pretty underutilized. If you're gonna stick someone with a metal hand in a film, you wanna see a little bit of metal hand action, don't you?
That's true, but then again, we're also slightly spoilt by watching dozens and dozens of other films, and I keep expecting at some point it's suddenly going to extend on a chain. Or something like that. And that didn't happen.
No, you didn't. No, we didn't have to do that. But the overriding impression I'm getting from the choreography that it's just fights. It's just fights. It's not what I expect from Yuen Woo-ping.
Right.
I expect a little bit of imagination put behind the fights. And actually, I much prefer the structure of the fights, my interest was kept much easier by Tommy Lee than it was by Yuen Ping, because there are a lot of fights in this.
Yeah.
There are a lot more fights in this than
Yeah.
the first one.
That's true.
But there isn't really anything in the fights or the fight choreography to distinguish each fight from the other.
That's a fair point. And also, what we were saying earlier, the first film kind of works as a, it's no great shakes, it's very bog standard plot, but it works as a to B streamlined plot. You're quite right. This one's a bit more all over the place as a piece of filmmaking. Like, it's a bit of a mess, narratively speaking. But I don't know why. I didn't really think in those. I just had a good time with it from beginning to end.
I didn't dislike it. Don't get me wrong. Thoroughly entertained throughout, no problem. But I was thinking, Yuen Ping can do better than this.
Well, yes. But again, maybe that's
because he did the same year.
Yeah. Yes, a victim of his own success, though. There, maybe in other.
Possibly. Yeah.
Getting me way down to. Oh yeah, one thing that did stand out to me actually. One thing I thought, that's an interesting element that I'm surprised you don't see in more kung fu films. And maybe you've seen it, I don't know, so correct me if I'm wrong. So we spoke earlier about how they connect something in a training scene to what happens later in a fight, for example. But something they did here, which was quite interesting. So Huang Zhangli trains these 4 fighters who later, they're like the pre-end of level boss, right? Later on.
Oh, like with the mannequins.
Yeah, and they're fighting these mannequins. And Huang Zhangli is watching on as they're tearing these mannequins apart. And he's imagining John Liu in the mannequins. Place. So
I like that.
It's cool, isn't it? And it's cool, and it's also in a way it gives you something. It's the cake and eat it thing that you don't get in kung fu films. Imagine if the hero lost at the end, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Isn't it? No. Have you seen that in many other films? I've not seen that. It's a shame. It's a good idea.
It's a great idea. Yeah. And and they are literally kind of tearing John Liu apart. Not in graphic detail, but that's the implication, isn't it?
Exactly. And that really stood out to me this time as, that's a damn good idea. That I'm surprised other people didn't rip off more, because it really is that kind of you get to see the hero get killed. Neat.
But no, that's good, and it's the flip side, isn't it? It's the flip side of the jar smashing when John Liu kicks Wang Zhangli in the head, isn't it? It's the mirror of that, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's weird. It's one of those things that you'd think would have been ripped off so much that you'd actually get bored of seeing it now. But I can't think of another example off the top of my head.
No. The other bit I liked. So going away from negativity. The other bit I liked. I quite liked although the plot, as you say, was a bit more meandering, or treasure map this 8 diagram medallion thing. That. I did quite like how they upped the stakes with just casually murdering Tino Wong's brother in the middle of the
that's
film.
true. Yeah.
So that was good stakes. And he's a very young looking actor. I don't recall who that was now.
Wasn't that Korean Kwai?
No. Was it?
I think so.
Oh. Yeah. Don't know. Okay, I could stand corrected. Because I think I'm used to seeing young Kwai when he's older. Maybe I didn't get him.
Well, I'm not really used to seeing him at all, really. Like I had to watch it side by side with the pictures on the Hong Kong Weekly.
Yeah, I often do that. I didn't take. I don't know.
I might be wrong. If you know, well, actually, we don't care. Keep it to yourself. But
you'll embarrass us otherwise.
Yes. And also, I'm surprised we didn't actually mention it yet, because it is cool. And I don't know what you call, again, to my great shame, what do you call those spinning button things?
I meant to look that up.
Those are pretty cool.
They're brilliant. Yeah. And they're also real.
Yeah.
That's a real martial arts thing.
Right.
That's a real kung fu weapon.
I have seen them before. I couldn't tell you where, but I have seen them.
Usually you see women use it in film. You usually see women use them, don't you?
Yeah. Although I wouldn't say that for Wang Jiangli's face. That's a girl's weapon you're using.
Yeah. Yes, I would be picking my teeth out of his shoes, I'm sure.
And then, of course, to defeat them, they have to bring out... So this is another thing that kind of slightly went nowhere, was I didn't quite understand why those knives were cursed. And then... That didn't go anywhere, did it?
Well, I think what it is, and either my attention waned or the subtitles weren't quite clear. I think it was that... I think they were operating on that sort of theory, like, a samurai's weapon, as soon as it's drawn, has to draw blood.
Oh, I
think so. I think the theory was these sort of ancestral weapons can only be used.
Right.
Anyone who uses them has to die using them. Basically.
Oh, I see.
So it's almost like a prophecy rather than a curse, I think.
Yes, that does make sense because, yes, spoiler alert, Darren's favourite, Ennio Wong, does sacrifice, which is quite cool. I quite like that bit where he just clamps himself onto Wang Jiangli.
Yeah.
And Wang Jiangli just fucking wails on him, doesn't he? That's good. And a lot of slow-mo here as well. Not in this one so much. In the first, actually, we've got mentioned. The first one has quite a bit of slow-mo.
Yeah. I take it back, by the way. Up until the final fight, I stand by what I said about Yuen Woo-ping's choreography.
Right.
In the final fight, now we're talking.
Yeah.
Agreed. But yeah, good use of slow mo in both films, actually.
Right, and the third one, actually, I
think. Yeah.
Also,
the third one we're going to get onto, but yeah.
Yes, we got also in the cast we got Hyun Kil Soo, another Korean name. Philip Ko-fei, who doesn't have much.
Yeah, Ko-fei, who's got fuck all. It's too early for Ko-fei, I think, because he's
been knocking about for a few years at this point.
Yeah, but I don't think he ever sort of got anywhere until Li Cha-lang, actually, probably.
It's strange, isn't it? Because in retrospect, he's got it all. He's got that face, and he's got it all going on. But for some reason, no one really, let him use it.
No.
Lucky Ko's in there as well.
Yeah.
Young Hwa,
again, maybe I got this wrong again, but apparently I wrote down that Lu Feng is in this.
Yes, I wrote that down as well, and I followed the link, and it was the Lu Feng.
Yeah.
But
I couldn't see him anywhere.
No, but apparently he's there. I'm not surprised. It would kind of make sense in a pre-Venom's world that he could have been used, just as either an extra or something. But didn't recognize him. Him at all.
Didn't see him at all.
But he's there apparently.
Yeah. And that's it. Yeah, and Yin Biao and Yin Hua are in it somewhere. As well, I saw Yin Biao as one of the the two sets of four.
Right, again, maybe a HE would sort all this out, right? That pinpoint people, but for me at least, I would put this on a par, entertainment-wise, with the first. If you enjoyed Secret Rivals, I think you will pretty much enjoy Secret Rivals 2.
Yeah, I'd agree. Well, again, I enjoyed this more on the first watching than the first one.
Right.
In my opinion, are reverse. So who knows? If I was watching it for the first time.
Well, again, it could be that whole thing about, how you're entering a film. Like maybe you were psyched for this to be so much better that it let you down. And maybe the next time you watch it, you might enjoy it more again.
Yeah, and I think as well is that when I watched it for the first time, I had already heard that it was better than the first.
Right.
So that may have added to my experience. Right. But yeah, I mean, taking everything I've said about Yuen Woo-ping, and I stand by it. I still think it's a missed opportunity because there were a lot of tools at his disposal. Through the first 3/4 of the film. Where he could have added a little bit more spice to what was already there.
Right.
But yeah, end fight, superb, excellent.
Yeah.
Some of the best he's done.
This is is the days of wrath, Eastwood. I am the ugly one. If you want me, meet me at the big gun down. I am Van Cleef. Die! Die! Die!
Are we ready to move on to the bastard stepchild that is Secret Rivals 3?
Yes. I have been very much looking forward to this.
Okay. Worth pointing out as well, just so that we jump forward to 81, and this is a proper Taiwanese production.
Yeah. Notice how I didn't say it's got Taiwan stamped all over it.
No, well done. Da Yaun Ti. You can use an extra decimate.
Oh, thank you, Clive.
As a reward.
Thank you.
Directed by Chan Shin-hee, who also directed Incredible Kung Fu Mission.
Yeah, Lady Constables.
Yeah, which shares both John Liu and Robert Tai as a choreographer.
Yeah.
Was on that as well. Again, I checked out the original poster, and the original title is literally New Southern Fist, Northern Kick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously they knew what they were deliberately. It wasn't just an English retitling thing where, you know, because Secret Rivals went into a popular abroad, they decided to retitle it Cash In. Obviously, from the get-go, this was a Secret Rivals Cash In, right?
Oh yeah, and very successful one at that.
Well, it's fucking balls to the wall. I mean, it's beginning to end action. I mean,
it's wall to wall.
Yeah. So that's again, the phrase I was looking to. Not balls, although it is balls to wall. It's wall to wall is the.
Yeah.
I've got balls on the brain. Sorry.
Yes, sorry. It was because I mentioned your balls.
You did, and then you got me all flustered.
It did, yes. But yeah, no, I agree with you, and it's again, you know, maybe this is what happens when you hire Robert Tai as a choreographer. You know. Going back to, you know, what we were talking to Toby about in the Ninja Final Duel episode, you know, he doesn't let directors tell him what to do with the choreography.
Right.
So you just hire him to do his thing with the choreography.
Yeah.
Which seems to equate to just wall-to-wall action.
Yeah. And he's the villain.
Yeah.
And he's a damn fine villain. And watching him in this is a really, I don't know why it struck me, he's a really scrawny git, isn't he?
He is. He's a long streak of piss, isn't he?
He reminded me of like Adam Driver or something like that. Like
that's actually, yeah, Adam Driver is a very, very good comparison. Imagine Adam Driver.
He's got the tash, isn't he?
He has, yeah, and it's a bumfluff tash as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's not a proper tash.
It's the Ammanford man.
It is.
Robert Tighe could go for a drink with Adam Driver in downtown Ammanford and not get bothered. They'd fit in.
They would, yes, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, no, and yeah, it's again, the more we do this, podcast, and particularly, particularly after immersing ourselves in Robert Tighe for the last episode, the man can do no fucking wrong, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh yes.
And this is his film, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
I'm sure he didn't direct it, and it doesn't look like his direction anyway. But this film belongs to Robert Tighe and his choreography. Yeah,
if it was directed by Robert Tighe, there'd be even more fighting in
it. Exactly. Yeah.
There'd be no talking at all. But no, and
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, that'll be fine. I mean, if it's this level, I mean, it's because it's good fighting as well. That's the thing, right? It's good fighting.
Yeah.
There's no big gun down theme this time.
No.
It's a bit of a shame. It'd be good if they'd have had that on there as well.
Yeah.
And I must say, I don't know, great fun all the way through, good fighting, but maybe in a way, because it's wall-to-wall fighting, it misses out. I would put it not quite on a higher shelf as Secret Rivals and Secret Rivals 2, because it is a little bit more for the already versed and people who are already set up to enjoy. Like I don't know if this would be a good entry point kung fu film.
No, you need to be initiated into the kung fu what's the word? The kung fu sanctum.
Yeah,
for this to work, don't you?
Plus, it's missing the signature Robert Tighe madness. There's nothing weird in here. Like it's good, solid choreography. There's no water spiders. There's nothing freaky or strange. It's very it's very meat and potatoes, but delicious meat and potatoes.
Oh, it is. It is delicious.
But it's only meat and potatoes. You're not getting anything else.
No, you're right. But yeah, nice young and fluffy-haired Alexander Laurie in here.
He does look young, doesn't he?
Yeah. In fact, I had to, because when he was introduced, I did a couple of double takes. I said, "Is that definitely Laurie?"
Right.
Because he didn't, without the mullet.
Yeah.
Or the
bald head.
Yeah. But yeah, it's obviously Alexander Laurie.
Yeah.
He does a fine job.
Well, yes, and most, I mean, you expect John Liu and Alexander Laurie to do a fine job. I tell you who's a bit of an undersung one here is Chin Lung, right? Who
definitely
was in, we talked about in Invincible Kung Fu Legs, and he's
the spunky one, isn't he?
Yeah, he plays, my bum, he plays a slightly less, he's a slightly toned down idiot in this one, but kind of idiot nonetheless. But what I realized watching this one, what he's really good at is he's got that rare skill of clearly knowing what he's doing in terms of, fighting, or at least screen fighting. But he's also really good at making it look as if he doesn't know what he's doing, which I think you have to be good at doing in order to make it look like you're not any good. And
for sure.
And he gets better, obviously. So he's like the third wheel, right, who helps them fight Robert Tighe. So I was thinking it's a bit of a thankless task in a way, like being the idiot who, but clearly he does know what he's doing. Then again, I suppose with our talk with Robert Tighe, with Toby Russell, apparently Robert Tighe can make anyone look good. Like, you know, you can
True.
be McDonald's stuff and you can make people look good. So,
Well, so we're told, yeah.
yes.
But yeah, no,
but I feel as if he did Chin Lung, you know, is you know, I had a great deal of respect for him after watching this film.
Yeah, same. Yeah. And he, you know, arguably, you know, he's actually the hero of the film.
Yes. Yeah.
Because it's he's the only one with any sort of arc, isn't he?
Yeah.
You know, within the film. He goes from, you know, annoying, you know, woodcutter begging for training, to someone who can hold his own against Robert Tighe as much as John Liu and
back to annoying woodcutter asking for training at the very. Yeah, he has like the last wow line.
Yeah. But
it's fine.
Not
much wow. There's this one, oddly enough, does have some of the goofy comedy missing from the other.
Yeah. I've got to say that chase in the house in the middle of the film, went on far too fucking long.
I was expecting
yeah. But I mean, it still held my interest because, you know, what he's doing, you know, with all the flips, all the stunts, all the fighting, you know, it holds your interest, but it's basically a Benny Hill chase around a park for 15 minutes. Maybe not 15 minutes, but you know, a good 10 minutes in the middle of the film. Yeah.
But it's funny as well. I started off because I thought, fucking hell, this isn't wasting any time. I started counting the minutes that there's no fighting going on, and after a while, I just gave up. I was like, fuck it. There's hardly any non-fighting. Even some of the scenes where people are introduced to each other start with a bit of a fight. Like a bit of a misunderstanding. There's a few punches exchanged, and then hey brother, this guy's all right. All right then. And then, and of course, it's the classic "didn't you kill my brother" plot as well. They've done away with any of the fancy, schmancy stuff they were trying to do in the first two films, and it's just a straight up, John Liu thinks mistaken identity, right? He thinks Lou Ray's killed his brother, but it's not. It's Adam Driver in yellow face makeup who's actually the bad one.
Yeah. And it's a shame talking about, you know, because he looks like Adam Driver mainly because of the bum fluff and the haircut.
Yes.
Now, I'm sure I'm not alone in this, but couldn't they just have put a yellow or white wig on him with some eyebrows?
Yeah, make him look a bit hot, cool, and vicious.
Just something.
Because especially Robert Tighe, you'd think he'd be up for that, wouldn't he? He loves a bit of nasty, you know, weirdness. Or
exactly. Yeah, I would have. Yeah, that's the one thing that nothing disappointed me in this film, apart from the fact that Robert Tighe wasn't wearing a wig, wasn't wearing a silver wig or a white wig or a yellow wig. That's the only thing that disappointed me in this film.
But then again, he wouldn't have looked so much like Adam Driver. Now we wouldn't have had so much enjoyment out of that.
That's true, yes, and it's been a talking point for the podcast, to be fair. So you know, we'll win that at least.
You take your fun where you can find it, right?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you know, usually as well with, you know, because with the, you know, the comedy elements of this, you know, generally, and there's quite a lot of it. There's quite a lot of kung fu comedy, all centering around Chin Lung.
Yeah,
you know, and it's all around him copying. You know, whenever he sees a fight, whenever he sees John Liu or Alexander Leroy fight, he always copies their movements, and that's basically how he learns his kung fu.
Right.
And without fail, every time he's copying the movements of a fight going on in the foreground, he's always whacking his workmate or whacking his uncle who's his employer or something. And that's always happening. But none of that was tiresome to me, actually.
No, it was fine. There's not enough of it to wear you down, really. And there's certainly a lot less bum mutilation than in other Chin Lung vehicles, right? His bum was.
But we've only seen the other Chin Lung vehicle that we know of, haven't we? Really.
I like to imagine that his bum's always in danger.
When you're around, Clive.
Yes. As you know, Darren. Yes. Backs against the wall, lads. Here's Clive.
No, but Chin Lung actually, I wish I'd have had the time, but you know, I'm gonna take my sick note on that one.
Yeah.
But I wish I'd had the time to actually look into him a bit more.
Well, you know, he might crop up again, and that will be our opportunity to.
Well, I might go and do a little bit of I might go down a little Chinlung rabbit hole. I think actually, because you know he's always.
Bumhole.
I'm gonna go down the Chinlung bumhole.
Get in line.
This is why we're known as a highbrow academic podcast. This is why we're so impenetrable.
That's why the
average
Criterion collection are banging down our door to have commentaries.
Yeah. Please tell us more about Chinlung's bumhole.
You learned gentlemen.
Yes. Yeah, here's an honorary doctorate from the Metropolitan Museum of Art Film Division.
Your tireless work is talking about bumholes.
Serviced. Oh shit. Excuse me. That wasn't Corona. I actually swallowed. I actually inhaled some tea then.
I would imagine this is what it would sound a bit like if Beavis and Butthead were Welsh and they did the Kung Fu commentary track.
Pretty much. It usually does devolve to this sort of level. Yes.
Luckily, we're in the last of it here, so yeah.
Yeah. So, no, but I think Chinlung is pretty impressive. Interesting performer, and again, I'm remembering Shaolin Invincible Sticks, where the sort of character he plays in that in particular normally is the sort of character that annoys the fuck out of me.
Right.
And I found him pretty personable, pretty good.
Yeah.
And I think I kind of stand by my sort of, you know, he does seem to be a kind of a Lee Min, Jackie Chan kind of amalgam.
Right. Yeah, no, he's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Of course, you are blinded by the pleasures of his bumhole.
Well, that's true. Yeah, his radiant bumhole.
Aren't we all? So, you mentioned Lee Min, and the Lee Min connection is that Lee Long Yin, who is Lee Min's brother, is in this.
Oh.
And I looked him up, and he helped choreograph the same year 2 films, one called Night of the Assassins, which I've not seen, and Hero of the Border Region.
Ah.
Now I haven't
seen
that either. You have seen that, yeah? All right, because I was hoping, because I looked it up ever so briefly. I'm wondering if we might do this in some way. I looked it up ever so briefly on the Hong Kong Movie Database, and what jumped out at me was so T Lung is in it.
Yeah.
And it utilizes footage of the T Lung Shaw Brothers film, the heroic ones.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, I don't know to what extent. I mean, is it a cut and pasty thing, or is it just they stole some footage?
I don't know.
Is it like a sequel of sorts, or?
Yeah, I know hardly anything about it. But I've heard it. I remember in my memory, I heard it's really, really fucking good.
Okay, and it'd be interesting to see if this Lee Long Yin is, you know, someone who stands apart rather than just being, oh yeah, it's Lee Min's brother, you know. Yeah. So I'd be
it's well worth a watch.
Check that out. Yeah.
So
Also,
anyway, back to this then.
Yeah, I was just going to say Ricky Cheng in it. And also another name of interest is Chiu Chung Hing, who was the director of Child of Peach, and Hello Dracula, and some other weird Taiwanese stuff.
So I didn't catch that one.
He's in it in capacity. And that's all my notes in terms of that kind of thing, anyway.
Yeah. And I mean, I haven't got too much more to say on this, really. Apart from the end fight is fucking blistering.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's all about, and there's some nice slow-mo in there.
Yeah.
But also it's the you know, Robert Tye towards the end of it is pulled around like a rag doll.
Yeah.
You know, they're throwing him up in the air, and he's landing in the splits.
Yeah.
They're you know, it's like it's like he's a Stretch Armstrong doll, and
He
they're
is,
just
he
like
look-
twisting him, and
It's
amazing fight.
the only thing I had against it was I would have liked it to have been just that little bit longer. It's slightly abrupt, isn't it? The way he dies.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, a little bit.
oh,
Yeah.
it's almost like, because you know, usually in these things you see the point of death, like you know there's a close or something. But in this one, it's like they kill him and then they discard him.
Yeah.
And then, he's dead. Do you know what I mean? You don't actually see the point of death.
You kind of do, because there's that moment where he's in the splits, and he's literally just like prone in the splits, and Lil Ray's punching him in the head, and John Liu's kicking him in the head, and they just do that repeatedly.
Right.
And then he's dead.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe I'm daft, or I would have quite liked to see, I don't know, a cutaway to a jug being smashed up.
Yeah, true. Well, who doesn't?
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
Yeah. Or a cutaway to a Chinlung's bumhole.
Well,
maybe
either works.
Contracting or something like that.
Or, you know, like in Pink Flamingos. Has
Papa Mau Mau ever been used as the score for a kung fu? Because that could rival the Big Gun Down, I think.
Fucking hell. Well, wouldn't it though?
Yeah. There we go. I think we're going to have to put that in Jolly Mechanics in our...
There we are.
I hope no one's... This is copyrighted now. This is off record. It's online. So no one steal all our ideas now.
Yeah. You have to produce a script with the elements we discussed.
Dated
in order for us not to sue you, dated before today. Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you for stealing our idea.
Yeah.
Anyway. But yeah, no, I mean, conclusions on Secret Rivals 3. I mean, it's tough to watch it, actually. Just because, and again, it's the passage of years and the evolution of Kung Fu choreography. But, you know, I enjoyed, first Secret Rivals, thoroughly enjoyed it again. Thought it was great. Secret Rivals 2, kind of indifferent to it, if I'm honest. But, you know, going straight from Secret Rivals 2 to Secret Rivals 3, you know, and just the difference in emphasis, the difference in choreography. It's just different worlds.
It's very instructional to watch them back to back, isn't it? And I have to admit, this was a fun. I'm glad we did the 3 as opposed to just the 2. That was a good idea on your part there, Darren.
I think, you know, keep it kind of interesting, and, you know, who says we have to have proper links anyway?
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, Over the Moon, I managed to get a bit more Robert Tye in.
Yes,
because I didn't realise I missed it.
Yeah, it was a nice tie-in back to Ninja Final Duel as well. And I'm sure we shall. Well, I'm almost definite. We won't be doing our job if we don't return to the world of Robert Tye at some point in the future.
Well, there's one. There's already one with Robert Tye's name on that's in the pipeline.
Right.
We haven't picked a date, have we? Because we're going to do Thundering Mantis, aren't we?
Oh yeah, of course. Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Because that.
So we need to do that at some point.
Yeah,
but yes. Clive's choice next time.
Yes, I do have an idea, but I wrote it down on a slip of paper, which I've now lost. But so I won't reveal it here because I don't know what it is. But it was something a bit different. So because so far I feel as if our roles here are shaping. I mean, this might change on a dime, but so far I think you're doing a very good job at kind of sifting through the canon and picking out the ones that are worth dusting off and putting into context and revisiting and stuff like that. Whereas I think what I'm, just because this is what I tend to do anyway, and you know, is I'm maybe trying to look at things that have been off our radar. We need to go back and look at. So I think
great, yeah.
Between the two, hopefully there'll be, you know, a bit of diversity.
Yeah, I think we're getting there. Yeah. No, I'm happy. I'm happy with how we're shaping up.
Yes. Anyway, that's enough licking our own bumholes, and it's time for us to go and lick Chinlung's bumhole.
Yeah, my Chinlung bumhole poster just arrived in the post yesterday, so I've actually got a fresh one.
Ah, well, I'm looking forward...
Because I've worn a hole in the old one.
I'm looking forward to sitting down with a bottle of wine and my Chinlung bumhole playing cards and having a game of solitaire. So, yes.
Well gel I am. I'm well jealous.
So, with that, until next time, this has been your extremely highbrow YCHYFUS chat for this month.
Yeah, sorry if we use too many big words.
Yeah, we do apologise, but it's not our fault. We're cleverer than you. Bye.
Hello.
Hey you. Hey you. Hey you. Come here you. Come here you. Hey you, come here. You. I said 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 you with the tail. You come here. You. Yes, you come here. Go away. Come here. Hey, you come here. Come here. Come here. Go away. Come here. Go away. Stop. Come here. Come here. Come here. Go away. Go. Come here. Hey, you. I said you. I said you. I said you, mate. I said you. I'm looking at you, mate. I said you, mate. I said you. Come here. I said go away. Didn't you kill my brother? Sister-in-law was an oak tree, or do I mean a manhole cover? I've got a brain like a jukebox. Hey, didn't you kill my brother? I got a job as a petrol pump for the government undercover. Come here, I want to talk to you here. Didn't you kill my brother? Didn't you kill my brother? Didn't you kill my brother? I like a laugh. I like a laugh. You're the best pal a girl ever had. I wouldn't drop you for another. Give us a pound or I'll kick your teeth in. Here, didn't you kill my brother? I like strangling budgies. I'm what you call an animal lover. I like North Korean sherry. Here, didn't you kill my brother? I've only known you for 10 minutes. I've only known you for 10 minutes. But you're the best pal I've ever had. You're the bestest pal I've ever had. You're my mates. You and me, mates. You're my... Here, didn't you kill my brother? 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 It's a funny old world. Hello, mate, how you keeping? Hello, mate, how you keeping? Hello, mate, how you keeping? Here, didn't you kill my brother? I saw you. Didn't you kill my brother? You bought him a pint of lager, didn't you kill him? You killed my brother. I saw you. Didn't you kill my brother? You did a very nice job. I really must congratulate you. Didn't you kill my brother? 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 Delivering the sewers, the French. Didn't you kill my brother? Didn't you kill my brother? Didn't you kill my brother?